Business District with the aim of containing the spread of coronavirus. Part of the restrictive measures include closure of all markets and ban on tuk-tuk and motorbike services within the town. Our reporter Marianne Nyambura now joins us with more details. Marianne, what can you tell us? I understand that we have lost her connection, but we'll be getting back to her shortly. Now, Nairobi Hospital, we'll be getting to that story. Businesses in some streets in Nyeri town have been shut to prevent the spread of coronavirus amidst fears that the public is not doing enough to stay safe. Now, this even as Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga has said they have set up Wambugu Farm as a quarantine facility for anyone who defies the quarantine guidelines set by the government. Well, Martin Munene gives the latest from Nyeri County.
All right, very good afternoon to you, Victoria. In Nyeri County, as you can see, the street that I'm on, this is Gakere Street, and normally these businesses that you see could have been open, but following the government's move to actually close down all these businesses to reduce the numbers of people on the street has actually taken effect. Now, normally this street has way more people than the people that we are seeing here. It's one of the most populated areas within this particular town, and one of the measures that the government is saying is trying to reduce the numbers is by closing down these businesses. But apart from this, the county government of Nyeri has said that they have identified Wambugu Farm as a facility that they can use to quarantine anyone that comes within Nyeri County and is in need or actually fails to follow the guidelines of self-quarantine. So far, we understand that 26 people that came from abroad are in Nyeri County, and they are under, they're actually in self-quarantine and they're being monitored on a day-to-day basis. But the county government has said that if any of those people fails to follow the regulations that they have actually put in place, then they're going to be transferred to Wambugu Farm. We understand it has 45. It has a 45 people capacity, a bed capacity of 45 people, and at the same time, Mount Kenya Hospital, which has been identified as a facility where patients can be taken, has a facility or has a bed capacity of 21 people. Now, the governor of Nyeri has said that it is important for the public to try ensure that they protect themselves, because he says in the entire Nyeri County there are 1,277 beds available in hospitals, be they private, be they religious institution facilities, and also government facilities. And therefore he felt that in a population of about 700,000 people, these beds are not enough, and therefore he's calling upon residents to take up the measures the government has put in place to ensure that they are safe. But for now, our Wambugu Farm is the place. If anyone fails to follow the guidelines of self-quarantine, that is the place they're going to be taken. And this is one of the measures that the government has taken. There's no total lockdown yet, but it's on the table. They have said that if they feel that the closing Gakere Road is not enough, they're going to move on to the other areas, including markets. But what they have said for now is that the public days where members of the public can bring their wares to the market and sell, those days have been called off. And the people who are allowed to sell right now in markets are only people who have been allocated stalls previously. Therefore, market days, as they are commonly known within this area, have been called off, and businesses along this road have also been shut. Back to in studio from Nyeri County, I'm Martin Monene.
All right, thanks for that, Martin. Situation in Nyeri County, will be monitoring that in the days ahead. Now, Nairobi Hospital has banned gifts, including cards and flowers, and restricted the number of visitors into the facility to contain the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. Under the new measures, the hospital will only have a single visitation window where only one visitor is allowed per patient. The hospital has also banned external food and drinks and suspended clinic services at all its satellite clinics. Hospital Chief Executive Officer Dr. Alan Pamba says the measures are aimed at decongesting the facilities and reduce the risk of transmission to both staff and the public. Let's cross back over to Nakuru County that has imposed stringent measures aimed at decongesting the central business district with the aim of containing the spread of coronavirus. Now, part of the restrictive measures include closure of all markets and a ban on tuk-tuk and motorbike services within the town. Our reporter Marianne Nyambura now joins us with an update on that. Marianne, what more can you tell us?
Well, indeed, Victoria, it's interesting. Just right now, we are actually witnessing a number of hawkers. This is one of the stages here in Nakuru town, where by early morning, we saw security officers were actually here just to ensure that the laws that were enforced by the lawmakers is that they have to, that hawkers were actually banned from doing any sort of business within the Nakuru CBD. But at the moment, at this particular stage, we can actually see some of the hawkers, some of the measures that were actually put in place include also that starting from tomorrow, boda operators are not expected to operate within Nakuru town. As well, at the same time, matatu operators have also been urged just to ensure that they park their vehicles at designated areas which are in the outskirts of Nakuru town. Those applying the Nakuru, Naivasha, Nairobi, as well as Nyeri routes are actually set to park their vehicles at Simwani grounds, which is located near the Kingdom Seekers. Those are applying those matatus which are western bound are parking their vehicles at a designated stage at the railways police station. So basically at the moment, early morning, we saw a raft of activities at the Wakulima market, which is actually the main market here in the Nakuru CBD, is that police officers were actually there just to ensure that the market, remember early morning, the County Commissioner Erastus Mbui had a press conference with members of the press and mentioned that the market will be closed, which is the Wakulima market is expected to be closed starting from today for fumigation purposes. Remember, this is something that just 2 days ago we saw the Emergency Response Committee, Nakuru County Emergency Response Committee, led by Erastus Mbui, as well as the Governor Nakuru County, Liki Nyanjui, mentioned that they actually noted that during their risk assessment is that Nakuru town was actually congested, which is among the stages as well as the market. So they made the raft measures just to ensure that they decongest the city. Well, again, that is some of the traders at the Wakulima market were actually taking off from the market, and they have been asked to visit just to begin trading activities as from tomorrow at various points, being the Afraha Annex in Nakuru town. But at the moment, what we can see right now is that it's actually funny, because early morning the security officers were here. There were no boda operators at a particular stage. But at the moment right now, since they have left, it's actually business as usual here. The many traders and hawkers have actually gotten back here. So we are just waiting to see how this pans out. Remember that the Cabinet Secretary for Health yesterday said that Kenyans need to be aware of what exactly is going on, and the buck stops with them. So we are just going to see what exactly happens. Back to you, Victoria.
All right, thanks for that, Marianne. And certainly a lot of social responsibility that needs to be implemented by residents themselves. Moving on, the Media Owners Association, or MOA, has urged the Health Ministry to consider categorizing media services as essential services in its strategies to combat the coronavirus pandemic. In a letter to the Health Cabinet Secretary, Mutahi Kagwe, MOA, through its chairman, Wachira Waruru, said categorization of media services as essential services would enable media houses and journalists to continue to carry out the critical mandate of providing information and education to the public. While the 16 media outlets that are members of the Media Owners Association have complied with precautionary guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health on self-hygiene, social distancing, and self-quarantine, MOA acknowledged that the government, in its efforts against the coronavirus pandemic, may institute lockdown measures as a last resort measure should the situation move from bad to worse. Well, the media owners have also requested for inclusion of one of its members as a representative in the National Emergency Response Committee and the Business Emergency Response Center. Waruru, who is also the Royal Media Services Group Managing Director, assured the government of its support in curbing the spread of coronavirus by providing timely information and relevant education to the public on the pandemic. All right, it is 1:15. That's all we have for you from the newsroom at this hour. Join us again at the top of the hour, 4 p.m. for the very latest. Thanks for watching.